Hi, I'm 𝗟cie𝗰𝗹, CEO of 𝗟cie𝗰𝗹, and thanks for sticking with me until the last video in our 4-part series about protecting business data. In our previous videos, we've covered what information really is important to back up, how best to accomplish that using a combination of software, and specifically why incremental backups are going to give you the most flexibility when it comes to recovery. In today's 4th and final video, we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about where to store that data for maximum protection and resiliency. And at a high level, there's really 2 options. First is local storage, which means that you're storing the data in your same office. And there's a couple of options for that, some of which are better than others. So the first option is to store that local backup on the same hard drive that it's backing up. Now, this is not recommended for a number of reasons, but namely because it provides you no protection against hardware failure on that primary device. The best that something like this is used for is if you needed to do a software update and you were worried about some level of corruption or something going wrong with that update. When you store a backup locally, you can have a very fast recovery or rollback to prior to that software being installed. But other than that, it really doesn't provide you much value. The second option is to have a USB device or a removable hard drive. Usually this is a solid state drive, or sometimes it is a spinning disk. And you can save your backup to that USB drive, but just be aware that it has a couple of downfalls. One is that that USB is primarily going to be stored in your same office. So a fire or a theft or anything like that has the potential to cause you to lose that backup in the first place. Secondly, USB drives are often connected to the machines that they're backing up. And if you're not using good business-grade backup software that will disconnect that drive from a logical perspective when the backup finishes, you run the risk of having those USB backups potentially being affected by any malware or ransomware that may affect that device. And then the last option for local backup is to save those files to a network-attached device. In the industry, we often call that a NAS, or network-attached storage. And all this is a beefier device. It's not as portable as a USB, but it does have a much larger storage capacity attached to it, and also it allows you to have disk-level redundancy inside that NAS itself. So it helps to prevent against hard drive failure of the backup drives, which gives them a longer life and ensures that that backup is more resilient. So those are your options for local backup storage. Now, as an alternative to local storage, you can store your backup data off-site. And anybody who follows my other videos on the 3-2-1 rule knows how important that off-site and off-network copy is. So just like as we did before, let's start with the most basic option for off-site storage. And that is to take your removable USB and send it home with one of your employees. It is not ideal and not recommended, but it is the most basic and affordable way to have some level of off-site storage. But as you can imagine, when the person responsible for doing that forgets or goes on vacation, your backup redundancy goes out the window. The second option is you can take one of those NAS devices, and if you have multiple office locations, you can have it run at your second site. This provides a level of redundancy so that if there is a theft or a fire in your main building, chances are your backups will survive. However, depending on how your IT network is set up, this backup device may not be on a separate network. So a cyber attack or a ransomware attack could reach that device and corrupt your backups, again, depending on how you have things set up. The third and most common way, especially for small businesses, to back up their data is via a cloud service. What's nice about this is it's definitely off-site and off-network and protected by a separate authentication mechanism, which just means a different username and password, a different way to log in and access those files than anything else that's within your existing IT environment. So If you're looking for maximum redundancy at an affordable cost, I highly recommend taking a look at your options for offsite backup, and we've got plenty of videos that talk through what some of those are. I hope that this was helpful as you're planning your backup strategy. If you have any specific questions about your unique situation, I'd be happy to have a conversation with you. You can always book at meetcathy.com. Thanks for sticking with us till the end. See you on the next one.